Yes, good morning, folks. This is Who Did You Boycott Today? This is a re-recording of my space on the 29th of October, 2023. I will repeat again. This is my re-recording of my Twitter space on the 29th of October, 2023. This is a recording to send a very, very clear, strong message to several persons in the Negro camp and to my brothers and sisters who identify as Negro and want to exercise their power in the next 8 months or within the next year. I hope this message resonates loud and clear if you have a chance to listen to it. I don't know what else more I can say to express this message loud and clear than to make this recording and pray and trust that folks will be able to apply critical thinking and evaluation and decide what is the right thing for them to do. Because we're running out of time. We are running out of time. We don't get this done before the election of 2024. We won't have an opportunity to get it done after then. So I'm going to start a recording. Thank you for listening. This is Who Did You Boycott Today? I'm getting ready to have one of my come to Jesus moment. Yes, Lord. This is going to be an epic come to Jesus moment. Yes, it is. Thank you, Lord. I want to set the record straight. I want to absolutely set the record straight. Because when we get further down the road and we do not see one red penny, one red nickel, one red dime, I don't want folks making any excuse as to why America was not forced to pay the debt that's owed. And I'm going to make it very clear. The Negro Twitter space that I spent months and months and months in there building with folks who I thought we were building a real connection. They were the main ones that did not support the launch of the boycott that I made in February 2023. Excuse me. I'm going to give some names so we are not misunderstood here. Number one, La Farmer Ari. Talent, New Negro Republic. Aeon/ANDL. Sage Dream. Body Optometry. The Negro. OG. Val. That darn sister been out of shape with me ever since I complained that they were not supporting my audiobook room spaces. I don't think she's ever going to be right again. I absolutely do not think Val is ever going to be right the remaining days that she got on this earth. Because ever since I complained to her about not getting the support of the Negroes, who I was spending hours and hours and hours and days, sometimes up to 6 hours, 12 hours, 18-hour days in spaces with each other for once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. And it was called the Negro space. Yes, Lord. And now they have done a great job of running around here painting a picture of me. They have done an excellent job of running around here painting a negative picture of me. But they're not going to tell you any of the true details. They're going to leave out conveniently leave out all those details. But I'm here to set the record straight. I'm here to set the record straight. I am, love I am, irritated, who else am I missing? Who were the main ones that we met up in the Negro space regularly? The reason why I wanted to make it clear, I mentioned to the Negro space that I had launched the boycott, and they only had to stay off of Twitter twice a month. I sent them DM messages after DM messages after DM messages. I put the link in the chat. I started out using the platform called Minds.com. And these sorry human beings gave me a weak excuse that they could not understand how to use Minds.com. They gave me that lame, weak excuse that they could not understand how to use Minds.com. They also pointed out to me that I was charging $2 a month. And the reason why I was charging $2 a month was to try to do a giveaway, monthly giveaway, to encourage folks to share the message. I figure if folks were able to get a reward from a giveaway each month, they would have more incentive to share it and spread the word. I had set it up through PayPal so they could have peace of mind that their payment transaction would be safe. But I got told that folks did not understand how to use Minds.com. Oh, they told me I had not explained it enough, clear enough. Well, what can be explained when it's typed out on the JPEG that's being posted 2 or 3 times per day, every other day? On the JPEG, it spells out. These are the 5 social media platforms you need to stay off of twice a month: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, and YouTube. Can anybody help me understand what more could I explain to the Negro folks in the Negro space who complained and gave me the lame excuse that they did not understand what to do? Because I really want to get the answer to that before I leave this world. What was difficult to understand about that JPEG? What was difficult to understand about that JPEG? It clearly spelled out what you needed to do. Stay off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, and YouTube twice a month, the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month. What is confusing about that? What is confusing? Nothing is confusing about it. It was just a lame excuse not to support what I was doing. I went out, I made every effort to support what other persons were doing. My Twitter timeline, you can go back however y'all do those searches and see it. Nothing but posts where I have supported or reposted content that those in the Negro space who identify as Negroes is all up and down my timeline for the past year. Because I think November is going to hit my year mark. So those of you who know how to do that search and verify that what I'm saying out my mouth is truthful. If you don't want to take my word for it, I really am fed up with folks pretending. Just from the Negro space, they made a personal choice not to stay off of Twitter on the 1st and the 15th and not to support me. When the ANDL launched their organization, I went there and I donated. I went there and looked at the website and gave my personal feedback. I added that website to my second Boycott website that I built on the 31st of May because of the complaints and the lame excuse that I received from the Negro persons who I thought I was building a real connection with, only to find out months and months later that the underpinning current was that they was jealous of me. Only to learn that the undercurrent was that they were jealous of who did you boycott today. But I built the website from GoDaddy. Took the advice of a sister by the name of Pink Ice. Me and her had a heated discussion one night because I was kind of upset and I had to apologize to her. But my anger wasn't directed at Pink Ice. My anger was directed at the folks who I had spent months and months and months in the Negro space with. And when I tried to bring up something I was doing, I was told that it was off topic. But when the Negro presented his document that he completed, they gave him all the accolades that they could possibly bestow on him. When New Negro Republic launched his organization, they gave him all the accolades that could be bestowed on him. When the ANDL launched, it was given its accolades. I never got that in return. And when I started doing my audiobooks and nobody was coming into my Twitter space from the Negro space, but I was observing that whenever they opened a space, they all showed up. Like clockwork, just like clockwork, you could set your clock to it. But then I was made out to be the crazy person, the mean person, the whatever, that they ran around and painted a narrative about me. When you know what the hardcore cold truth is, they simply got bent out of shape because I complained that they were not supporting me in the same way I was supporting them. They're not going to never tell you those facts. They're not going to never tell you those facts. They'll go to their grave before they say that and admit up to it. I already know that is what is going to take place. I'm never going to hear any of those Negroes, La Farmer, Talent, Aeon, ANDL, Sage Dream, Body Tapestri, which was originally called Josh, OG, Irritated, Val, let me see who else. I know I'm missing some folks. It's Love I Am. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, this is a come to Jesus moment. Because I am fed up with folks who's painting this negative narrative about me. This is going to be an epic performance here. This is going to be an epic performance. Because it's quite apparent that these sorry human beings are running around here painting a false narrative of me. They have convinced all you folks that it's who did you boycott that has the problem. Well, I'm here to clear the air. I'm here to write the story. This all started because I complained that they were not supporting the audiobook room spaces that I was doing. It then proceeded to me complaining about not getting support for the boycott that I had launched on February of 2023. It then proceeded to the Consumer Cooperative Group, a co-op group that a brother by the name of Tenant Andrew had started. So I'm first going to start with the audiobook so I won't be jumping around. I remember like yesterday that I had the conversation with Val, and I brought it up to other Negro persons who were regulars in the Negro space, the Negro Twitter space. I brought it up to them, and I made it as clear as I could. I didn't expect, I understood when they said, well, we so busy, who did you boycott today? We just got busy lives, who did you boycott today? But they're never too busy to support each other, especially Val. Before the new Negro Republic was launched, that's the excuse that I got for why they were not coming into my audiobook Twitter spaces. But Val was not too busy to join the new Negro Republic. She's not too busy to support the ANDL. She's not too busy to be in La Farmer's Twitter spaces, in Talent Twitter spaces, in Aeon Twitter spaces, in Body Up Tapestri Twitter space. Now, Val, to be frankly honest, I don't know if she started coming into my audiobook Twitter spaces before I complained or right after. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she was the only person out of all the Negro persons in the Negro space that came regularly when I started doing the audiobook. And the first one that I did was The Destruction of the Black Civilization. That was 17 chapters. 17 chapters. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, Val was supporting the Twitter spaces, the audiobook Twitter spaces that I opened. But all of the other Negroes were missing in action. They were certainly missing in action. Now, Aeon, La Farmer, I think they each came in one time, twice. One time, I know they came in once after I complained, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say 3 times. 3 times. Like I started to say, the first audiobook I did was The Destruction of the Black Civilization. It had 17 chapters. How much would it have been asking for all those persons who claim we were building a real connection to pop in for 5 or 10 minutes? Would it have disrupted their busy day? Would it have disrupted their busy day to pop in for 5 or 10 minutes? Out of 17 chapters, that's just one book. The next audiobook I did was Hebrews to Negro, Wake Up Black American. That had 50 chapters. You mean to tell me you couldn't find 5 or 10 minutes to pop in and show your support when I covered that book? In fact, I think I did. I had started doing Hebrews to Negro, Wake Up Black America a second time, but I stopped. Okay, the third book was recommended by Val, The Mayflower. I can't remember how many chapters The Mayflower had. I think it was an 8-hour or 9-hour audiobook. The fourth audiobook that I did was The System, Who Rigged It and How Do You Fix It? I can't remember the number of chapters that book had. Let me see if it's going to come to me. I think it had 9 or 10 hours. Again, I can't remember for sure. But that's 4 different audio that I open Twitter spaces on, and those who I thought I was building a real connection with in the Negro space did not support me in the way I was trying to support them. Because I definitely supported their Twitter spaces when they opened them. Most times when the farmer opened a Twitter space, I was there most times. When Talent New Negro Republic opened a Twitter space, I was there most times. When Aon/ANDL opened a Twitter space, I was there most times. When Sage Dream, as far as my memory, she opened 2 spaces before we had this break separation of conversating with one another. I know I made 2 of her spaces. Body Optometry/Josh. I know I made 4 or 5 of his Twitter spaces. Mr. Engaging, the Negro Black Knight Heritage Club. That's another brother who did show me support. Just like Val did up until she got bent out of shape that I was complaining, and she even stopped coming. Like I said, I don't think Val is ever going to be right again. That lady been bent out of shape with me simply because I complained and pointed out that I was not getting the support that I was giving out. I can't count the number of things that I have reposted that La Farmer has posted on my Twitter timeline, that showed up on my Twitter timeline. I can't count the number of reposts and retweets of content that La Farmer has posted. I cannot count the number of posts that Talent New Negro Republic has posted on my that I seen on my timeline that I reposted and liked. Now, I even went as far to post some of their content up to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days at a time. Up to 30, 60, 90 days at a time. When Aon and New Negro Republic had made their submission to the OMB, I made sure that I posted their submission for, I'm sure, up to 30 days straight. When I say 30 days, I mean every other day. That post is going to show up 2 or 3 times per day, every other day, for 30 straight days. That is what I took time out of my busy day to do. For many, many posts. For those of you who know how to do that search thing, go back and search my Twitter timeline and see if I'm lying. Y'all know how to do that search thing where you go back and search folks' timeline. Go back and search my timeline and see if I'm lying. The proof is there. It's clear as the nose on your face. The proof is there. I can't count on my 2 hands how many posts that I took time up to 2 or 3 times a day for up to 30, 60, or 90 days. I want to ask each of these Negro persons who's taking the high road and painting this negative narrative of me, can they tell me and any of you, any of my content that I have posted, that they took time to post on their timeline for a week straight, a month straight? Ask them that for me, please. Ask each one of them that for me, please. While they running around here painting this negative narrative about me, ask them that direct question, please. Starting with La Farmer, New Talent, New Negro Republic, ANDL, Aeon, Sage Dream. They're going to tell you they were just so busy. They were just so busy. But if you are been observing like I have, I'm very observant. They always showed up to each other Twitter spaces like clockwork. They were never too busy not to show up like clockwork. I left out one person, a person by the name of Charles, who is one of the members of the ANDL. Mr. Charles, the one that you know Aeon mentions from time to time, because it's Mr. Charles, Aeon/ANDL, and Talent, who make up the board members of the ANDL. Mr. Charles never joined any of the boycotts that I set up. He didn't join the one that I set up on minds.com. He never joined the one that I set up on the website. Once I completed that website in less than 24 hours, I sent him the direct link. Just like I sent him the direct link for minds.com, the boycott group that I set up, the national boycott group that I set up on Minds, MINDS.com. I sent it to each of the Negro persons directly more than 3 times. I DM'd them directly more than 3 times. So don't let them lie flat, straight face to you. I put it in the group. I took their feedback. They're gonna paint the narrative that who did you boycott? You just getting upset and you just not listening. You're not listening to anyone's suggestion and feedback. I took suggestions and feedback. Talent said folks would probably have problems with me charging the membership cost, so I made it free. I certainly did. I completely dropped the $2 a month membership that I wanted to offer as a reward in a giveaway. After they had that space, that famous space that night that La Farmer and I Am did to launch a different boycott than the one that I had launched. They took the time to open a Twitter space and talk about the boycott that I Am wanted to launch. The farmer took the time to do that. That was just to show me that they didn't want to support me, because they never, ever opened a Twitter space to support the boycott that I had launched. Just to show they support. Never took place. But La Farmer certainly did that for I Am. And they sat in that room that night and said all the things they wanted to say to me about why they didn't want to support the boycott that I had already launched. They gave me all the reasons and excuses as to why they were not supporting the boycott that I had launched, which only required that you stay off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, and YouTube twice a month, the 1st and the 15th. But they had no problems supporting, being willing to support the boycott that I Am wanted to launch. So much they wanted to support it that they took the time to open a Twitter space. Do any of you folks on Twitter ever remember any Negroes opening a Twitter space to show support for Who Did You Boycott today, the boycott that she had launched. Do any of you remember seeing a Twitter space where they did that? I certainly missed it if it happened, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And they sat in that space that night, and Talent told me I was crying. I was having attention talent, attention. What's that word that little babies have? He had the audacity to tell me that I was having attention talent because I was saying to them that I was not going to hold adults' hands because I was asking them to support the boycott that I had launched that was asking them to stay off of 5 platforms twice a month. Miss New Negro Republic felt that I needed to give adults something else to do on those 2 days. Let me say that one more time. New Negro Republic Talent was telling me I was behaving like a little baby because I was very upset that I was listening to an adult tell another adult that I needed to give these persons something to do on those 2 days. Like they don't have a brain in their own head and can figure out what to do on those 2 days. Seeing as how they say they're so busy, you would think it would be a welcome break. I guess that just flew over their heads because that's the lame excuse they gave to me for why they were not supporting the audio book spaces that I opened. See how that works? But Who Did You Boycott today is the one that's not acting her age. She's not listening. She's being difficult. Whatever you want to try to label it. I am the one that's the mean person. I am the one that's complaining when I simply ask for support 2 times a month. The 1st and the 15th. The 1st and the 15th. To sign up for an account on Minds.com, which is no different than signing up for an account on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. So you can save that lame excuse for someone else because we all have common sense. It's no way you can convince me that you could not understand how to sign up for Minds.com when it's no different than when you signed up for Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. It's no different. But that's the excuse they gave me. That is the excuse that these persons who identify as Negroes gave me. The Negro, he was another one. The Negro, the Negro, the one who always saying he's a mulatto. Yes, it was the Negro Talent, New Negro Republic, La Farmer, I Am, Body Optometry, Josh. The 3 main corporates that night was Talent, New Negro Republic, Body Optometry, and the Negro. Those were the main 3 in that space that night. And Sage Dream the second. I don't know how in God's name did I leave her out. Those 4. They were the main ones that came off the microphone during that space that night. I'm going to say their names again. Talent, New Negro Republic, Body Optometry / Josh, the Negro, the Mulatto, and Sage Dream. Those were the 4 members that were the spokespersons that night. They tried to make me out to be the bad person. They wanted to shape a narrative that I was being the bad person. I was not listening to feedback. I wasn't listening to suggestions. I listened to the suggestions. I changed the platform from minds.com and took money out of my own pocket, a little over $300 some dollars to build the website on GoDaddy. Even though I had spent months and months and months building 50 separate boycott groups and one national boycott group to add the images, the description, and all of those 50 boycott groups in the national boycott group, I can't tell you how much time it took for me to do that on minds.com. I can't tell you how much time it took for me to set up 50 boycott groups for each state and add the images and the description, and also do that for one. I abandoned all of that to listen to their suggestion and feedback, and took money out of my own pocket after listening to Pink Ice's suggestion to build a website, because I was thinking about their feedback, saying that they were having problems setting up an account on minds.com. So I took upon myself to take into consideration their feedback, and I took the initiative to take money out of my own pocket to build the website on GoDaddy to make it more simple, where they just have to put their email address in a box. And it took me less than 24 hours to do that. Do you know it took me sending DMs after DMs after DMs before some of them finally did join? Can I say that one more time? It took me sending a direct DM message to these Negroes more than one time. Now, I'm going to be frankly honest with you. La Farmer, the new Negro Republic, and another person, I'm not going to name his name. I'm going to leave him out of this. 4 persons. The Negro National Boycott, Negro American National Boycott Group only has 6 members. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members. La Farmer and Talent and Aeon did eventually join it. And I think one other person, I'm trying to remember, I think it might have been Body Tapestri. They did finally join, but it took me sending them the DM and talking about it more than one time before they finally joined. Before they finally joined, his link for his website, I stopped in my tracks and clicked his link and went to his website and gave him my feedback. I went to his Discord launch, and there wasn't too many other folks there that night. I think it might have been less than 5, but I showed up. When he launched his organization, New Negro Republic, I showed up. When he sent me his website link in my DM, I stopped in my tracks and went to his website and looked it over and gave him my constructive feedback. But I sent them DM after DM message after DM message after DM message before they finally joined. And some persons who have still not joined yet, and they know who they are. Some have still not joined before the breakup happened. Long before the breakup between me and Aeon happened, several persons who were in the Negro space regularly did not join. Did not join. So they can't paint this false narrative that I did not make every effort to keep sending them the DM message of the link. They cannot paint a false narrative that I didn't try to remind them to stay off of Twitter and the other 4 platforms. And I have to give credit to Aeon. She did make an effort to remind the other Negroes, could they please stay off of Twitter? Because I took the time to pop on Twitter throughout the day to see who was on Twitter those 2 days. I took screenshots. I certainly did. I would pop on my phone for a few minutes and scan the Twitter hallway and see if I see any of the Negroes that I felt that I was building a real connection with. I wanted to see if those persons was on Twitter on the 1st and the 15th. And I can tell you, most times when I checked, they were there. They were on Twitter on the 1st or the 15th. And then, before I forget, Body Tapestri, he wants to brag about me breaking my own boycott. See, he didn't get the memo when he started bragging that, when he was thinking that he was going to tell the Twitter land world that Who Did You Boycott had broke her own boycott. Let me say that one more time. Body Tapestri, Josh, he thought he was going to brag that I had broke my own boycott by showing up on Twitter on the 1st of August. On the 1st of August and the 15th of August. Those were the 2 times that I broke my own boycott. But I had already changed it by then. I had already given up expecting folks to stay off of 5 social media platforms on the 1st and the 15th. So Body Tapestri did not get the updated memo when he was thinking he was going to be able to brag about me breaking my own boycott initiative. He didn't get the updated memo. Because between February of 2023 and August, I had given up. I had pretty sort of given up that folks was going to make any conscious effort to stay off of 5 social media platforms twice a month. They had February, March, April, May, June, July. They had 6 months. 6 whole months. Josh, Body Tapestri. You had 6 whole months. Can you tell me how many times you stayed off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, and YouTube out of those 6 months, twice a month on the 1st and the 15th? Can you share that information with me? I don't think you did. And for you adults to tell me that I need to give you something to do on those 2 days when you have Fan Base, which is a Black platform by Brother Isaac Hayes that you can be on those 2 days. You have all these other platforms that you can be on those 2 days. But you just wanted to give me that lame excuse and you got mad at me because I wouldn't accept it and swallow it. So you made me out to be the bad person because I wouldn't swallow it. And then you ran around here and painted on Twitterland and painted this negative narrative about me. But you didn't give folks all the details. You left out a lot of critical details while you were running around here painting this negative narrative of me. And I'm here to set the record straight today and have a come to Jesus moment. the rift between us Negroes who were in the Negro space regularly together started simply because I was asking for support for the audiobook rooms that I opened. The second reason that's caused some rift was that I was complaining that I was not getting support for the boycott that I had launched. Number 3, I shared with the Negro space, the consumer cooperative group. I even went as far to go out on the limb and ask the founder of the co-op to come over to Twitter to answer their question. After I took time and opened a Twitter space myself because Sage Dream complained that they didn't understand what the consumer cooperative group was about. When you simply had to go to YouTube and type in the word consumer cooperative group, and videos are going to pop up that once you click on those videos, you are going to get your questions answered simply by watching those old videos. Simply by watching, taking time, taking your own personal initiative to watch those videos that come back in that search result. But you prefer to give me the lame excuse that you don't understand. You could have clicked the link and joined for free. When I started sharing that information with the Negro space, the founder of the co-op was giving away 50 million shares of stock in the co-op. And you could have came in at 2 levels that were free. Absolutely free to check it out, take your time to look it over and decide if it was right for you. Nobody had a gun to your head, putting any pressure on you. You could click any one of those 2 free links and join and check it out. Or you could have just simply went over to YouTube and did a search on YouTube and watched the videos over there. And what they also left out was that I offered to pay the first 3 months cost for Sage Dream. I offered to come out of my own pocket to pay the first 3 months of Sage Dream costs. I have the DM messages to prove it. When those evil human beings took her job back from her, I wanted to try to help out. So I offered to pay the first 3 months cost for her to join the co-op, which would have earned her 300 shares. And what free shares that she would have earned simply by following the Brother Tanner Andrew on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and watch the video content. That was the only requirement for you to receive some of those free shares. And I know the brother did give away free shares because Brother Tanner Andrew gave me over 325,000 free shares. That's right. I received over 325,000 shares in that co-op. I have made an investment 3 times into the co-op. That was money that came out of my pocket, but that's separate from the free shares that Tanner Andrew gave the members who did watch the video content, did follow him, follow the co-op on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. He gave away 50 million of his own shares. 50 million of his own shares. And so Sage Dream, the person who never joined any of the boycott platforms that I set up, I still cared enough to offer to pay the first 3 months cost of her to join the co-op. And she would have owned those 300 shares for the rest of her life. And she could have passed it down to the next person in her family, to the next person and the next person. But she turned me down. She said she needed to think about it. So I finally backed off because I did not want her to feel like I was pressuring her. So after mentioning it to her more than twice, I backed off. I shut my mouth. I didn't bring it up anymore because I did not want her to paint a narrative that I was pressuring her. No, I was just trying to do a kind thing because evil persons had taken your job away that they had offered her. They had offered her a job and then they decided not to hire her after they told her she got the job. So when she told me about that and told the Negro space about that, I wanted to try to do something to help. But I also did that same thing for Aon/ANDL. When the folks on Twitter caused her to lose her job, I offered to pay the half of the year cost, which was $120. $120 would have paid for your year cost. So $120 will pay for your year cost. Or you could have came in at any of the 2 free levels, but those things are gone. They are gone now. They're no longer there with the co-op. The co-op has removed most of those benefits and those offers. Now the only way you can get in the co-op, they only accept 500 new members per year. And they only accept those members on the 1st of June and the 2nd of June for 48 hours, and then on the 1st of January and the 2nd of January for 48 hours. So if you can't get on a waiting list during those windows of when it's open, then you don't get on the waiting list. So at the time I was sharing this information with the Negro space, they could have got in. Every one of them could have joined. Talent, New Negro Republic, joined, but I don't think he's an active member. He did take the time to join. He certainly did. Talent, New Negro Republic, did join the co-op. I don't know why he don't promote it, why he don't talk about it. I don't know why he don't do that. Only he knows that. But the co-op could certainly solve a lot of the problem that the Negro community have as far as redlining, as far as financial education, as far as financial security. Brother Tannen Andrew has over 31 years of life experience. Over 31 years of life experience and 2 degrees. He simply is doing this to help his community and to help others. This brother has skin in the game. He has over $400,000 of his own money in the co-op. But he don't need this. He don't need to set up this co-op. He's trying to be the first black co-op to make it to Wall Street. And all of us on Twitter could have helped out with that by simply clicking a link and joining. All of you persons who heard me say it out my mouth, and don't sit up there and claim that you did not hear me say it, because I know you heard me say it. A lot of you heard me many times mention that consumer cooperative group. And you could have joined, and it would have been a game changer for our community. It would have gave us collective power, collective leverage if folks would have cared enough to join. But no, That was asking too much. That would have got in the way of folks' self-interest and self-agendas. Brother Tennant Andrews clearly has laid out a blueprint to improve our life, our day-to-day life. If you don't believe that, you could have joined for free and checked it out. And you wouldn't have to take my words that are coming out of my mouth. You would have been able to check it out for free. And I'm ready to bet my life on it that you could not have checked it out for free and not have walked away with that understanding. I'm willing to bet my life on that. I'm